Okay, I'm outside Tanner and Sophie's place. It's about halfway through the session. The dogs get very excited when people come to the door, and they like to jump up on people, especially Sophie. In this video, I'm going to go over how you can teach your dogs to be calm when people come to the door just by starting or stopping our actions based on whatever the dog is doing. Now, normally I would have somebody else filming this from inside, but I won't be able to discuss it with the door closed. So I'll show you kind of how we're going to do it and film it myself so I can narrate it. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to arrange to have guests come over, and you'd like to try to do this, have a guest come over once a day, if not twice, 2 guests come over a day. But the more you rep it, the faster and better at it it's going to get. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over, I'm going to ring the doorbell, I'm going to knock on the door. Now the guardian is going to come over, and I'm going to have her just open the door and just leave it, open the inside door, but not the outside door. I'm putting my deal here, and then just walk back. I'm putting my foot here to just prevent them. Some dogs will pound on the door. We don't want that to be the case. So Sophie is really the excitable dog. She's the one that jumps up. So she's a little bit calmer now, but you see she's whining a little bit and whimpering, and the barking is pretty obvious. And this is Tanner, who is a very chill dog. So basically what I'm doing is I'm waiting for Sophie. Now her tail is up, so that tells me she's a little excited, and see how it's speeding a little bit faster. So see, she walked away. So now I'm going to reach over and grab the handle. When I do that, that causes her to come over. So I wait for her to calm down again. See, that causes her to come back. Now, if they're right here in front of you, you could technically do it here, but I really want to, and we're going to go over a different exercise with the guardian to teach the dogs to go away. So she goes away. So what I'm doing is when I touch this, that's the excitement level. That creates excitement in the dogs, and they want to come forward because they've been conditioned to that. So what I do is every time she moves away, I'm making the sound of opening the door, but not actually any of the steps after it. And this is one of the things, see how she's lingering, she didn't come back right away. And this is what I do as a dog behaviorist, is I try to recreate situations and help the dog practice the behavior it wants in easier capacities, or only one step or one element of what's going on. So you see her energy level has come down. A dog can't stay in that crazy energy level for forever. So now she's kind of moved away, and then when the guest comes, they can come and open the door. And if she comes over, we can close the door if she gets really excited. That was a little excitement, but not very much. See, now at this point, she's like, oh, he's a tease. He's not even coming inside. So the more that we, can have guests come over and practice this with jiggling and doing all this stuff, but without actually culminating with coming through the door, the dog finds the activity boring. They're not bored, but they find it boring. So now, even though I'm making the sounds, she's not even bothered. She came and looked, but she's not even bothering to come over. I'll wait for her to kind of look away, and then I'm just going to actually step inside. Now, I'm going to have some treats in my hand, and I would suggest that you give the guests some treats before they come over. So maybe have some treats, a little basket over, or a little container over here. So that way when the guest comes in, we can redirect the dog into jumping away from jumping up. Now, if you're the guest, if you look at the dog, you talk to the dog, or you pet the dog, anything your dog is doing when you give it attention or affection is what you're amplifying or rewarding. Now, this is a nice, calm, balanced energy. So even though she's here, see that tail started going as soon as she heard that sound. So I'm going to wait for her to see what she's going to do. She's not sure what she's going to do, because this is different. Normally people come in, see how she's moving really slowly. That's an indication I'm a little confused. Could be a warning, but in this case I think it's just, I don't understand what's going on. So I'm going to come on in. Now, because the dogs are not super excitable, they're going to be able to listen much better. So Tanner came over, and we'll give Tanner a treat just because he's the old guy. And Sophie, the really excitable dog, and we'll give another treat because he has problems sitting and he sat for me. But the other dog, who is the really excitable dog, was like, whatever, I don't even have any time for this person. And where's she at? She's on the couch, which is one of the rules we're going to talk about not allowing her to do. So I'll just kind of pantomime the rest of it because she's not, I've already been here, so she's not as excited. Normally the dog's going to be here. Now, what I'd like you to not ask Tanner to sit because he has hip issues, but when Sophie's here, I want you to ask Sophie to sit. When she sits, give her the treat and say the word sit after it goes into her mouth. Now, when I reach down to give her the treat, she's probably going to get up. And so pull your arm away. So anytime the dog does things you don't want, you want to retract and stop engaging with the dog. So you might have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And every time she starts to get up, you pull your hand away. And eventually you'll be able to go like this and go all the way to her mouth and give her the treat and have her stay in a seated position. And so by riding out the initial wave of excitement, she's going to be able to relax and just like this character is right here, and be able to be better in control of her faculties. So if you have a dog that gets really excited at the door, having guests come over and practice and repping this a lot will help the dog just practice. Hey, when guests come over, they don't always come in. And I saw some kids in the neighborhood. One of the little tricks you can do is have the kids come to the door. And with the door, I would have the door kind of open like it is now when the weather's a little bit nicer, and have the kids just come and ring the doorbell and then leave. Like, it's basically ding dog ditch, but with intentional. And so the doorbell is going to cause the dogs to get excited and come over here, but the guardian doesn't get up. Nobody comes over here. Just sometimes there's a ring at the door and there's no excitement associated with it. So I'll stop going and patrolling that particular area. All right, well, these are some tips and tricks you can use if you have a dog who's very excited and likes to jump up on guests when they come through the door.